Hello guys, welcome back again with me. So in this video, I will give you some presentation and practice about network system administration. In the last video, I was giving you some learning material about routing, which is the chapter 16. And now I will give you some presentation and practice about the remote access server. So let's go to the video. So in the chapter 17, which is remote access server, I will explain about the SSH concept, and I will practice about remote server 1 and 2 from Ubuntu client, and I will practice changing SSH port and allow user on SSH, and I will explain about the private and public key concept and also authorized key concept. And the next one, I will practice the configuration of private and public key from Ubuntu desktop and also from the host OS. And for the next one, it is I will try to remote the router Ubuntu from Ubuntu client, and also I will configure disable password authorize or authentication, and also I will use SSH agent and add. So for the first one, it is SSH concept. In the last video, you may already understand about the routing concept. And you have to make sure all of the VM in here can ping to the internet or can ping using domain. And usually SSH is same like remote access. So for the SSH, it have explanation to remote a server using more secure, or SSH is secure shell. And for example, if I want to from OS, I want to remote my router Debian. For the VM for the router Ubuntu, it have to get ping, can ping to the my OS first. And for the SSH have two meanings, which is the client for the subject and also the server for the object. Which server that we want to remote, and you have to make sure that it can be connected or it can be pinged to each other, because my router Ubuntu is already can ping to my host OS. I think we can just start to remote this router, but before I practice it, we have to make sure on the if you want to remote the Ubuntu client, we have to remote the router Ubuntu first, because this Ubuntu client, it is not directly connected to the host OS. It is connected to the host OS via the router Ubuntu. And if you already remember, when you install the Ubuntu server, we already installed the SSH server. But and right now I will try to remote my server, and you can also remote your server, for example using PuTTY, terminal, SSH, and whatever, like CMD or whatever. But right now I will just use PuTTY because it's easier to use. PuTTY is this one, and I will just open it. And in here I want to remote the router Ubuntu, but before I practice it, we have to make sure on the router Ubuntu, is it already have an SSH on the server or not. I will log into the user, and the password is this one. GR, and then the password is this one. RL, and to check is the server is already have an SSH or not, you can use sudo systemctl and then status SSH, then enter, and for the password of our GR is this one. And you can see in here for the SSH is already get installed. And if you haven't installed the SSH, you can just use SSH sudo and then apt install SSH and then open SSH and for example because in here I want to remote the server, so in here I can just add negative server. But if you want to remote it from the client, you can just add negative client. But in here, because I want to remote the server, so I will just use negative server. In here I will delete the space, so you can type this to install the OpenSSH server, because I want to remote this one. And I will just enter, and we can wait for it until it's finished. And right now it has been get installed, and in here I will check the IP using ipmin. And you already know for this router Ubuntu is connected to the host OS via using the NPOS 3, which is the 192, 168 and then 137. So in here I can just open the PuTTY, and in here if I want to remote the router Ubuntu server, you can just use for the hostname or IP address, you can fill it with the IP of the router Ubuntu, which is this one. And then this one, it is the IP of the router Ubuntu that connects to the host OS. And I think I need to add the prefix, and I can just enter and open. Sorry guys, I will to try to ping to the host OS first. Is it working or not? Yes, it is working, and I think I don't need to use prefix, guys. I will fill it again. 192, 168, and as you can see, it is get connected, so you don't need to add the prefix, which is /24. And for this one, you can just click accept, and I will open it more bigger and login as. I will login as my user, which is GR, and then for the password is this one. And right now I successfully remote the router Ubuntu server using PuTTY, using the SSH. So that is for the concept of the SSH concept. And for the next one, I will try to remote the server 1 and also server 2 from the Ubuntu client, which is from the Ubuntu desktop. In here I will open the study case first, and I will explain a little bit. So in here I will remote the server 1 and also server 2 from the Ubuntu client. And in here, because I already can remote this router Ubuntu, and also from the client Ubuntu can ping to the server 1 and server 2, it should be can get remote. And also for the host OS, it should be can remote the server 1 Ubuntu and also server 2 Ubuntu from the host OS, because the router Ubuntu has been can get remote, and it should be work if I try to from the host OS to remote these two server. But in here I will just not try it. And in here I will open the server 1 Ubuntu and also server 2 Ubuntu, and I will make sure that both of the server is already have an SSH client or SSH feature. So in here I will install, and in here I will check the IP using ipmin. For this one, it have an IP of 10.10.10.2, and I will open my Ubuntu client. My bad guys, I will log in first. While we waited, I will also check the server to Ubuntu IP. For this one, it have an IP of 10.10.10.3. So in here, I will open again my Ubuntu client, and I think it will take some time. But before I practice it on the Ubuntu client, I will try to remote it from the PuTTY, which is from my router Ubuntu that I've been remote in my PuTTY. So to remote the server one from router Ubuntu, you can just use the SSH and then the name of the user that you want to, the name of the user on the server that you want to remote, which is in here the user is gr. Sorry guys, I will open again the PuTTY, SSH gr, and then add. And after the add, you can fill it with the IP of the server, which is you already know before. It is the IP of this. This is the IP of the server one, and I will try enter it. And for are you sure you want to continue, you can just type yes. It will get continue connecting, then enter. And for this one, it is the password of my user. It is this one. And right now, I've been successfully remote the server one Ubuntu from the router Ubuntu on the PuTTY, and I will try to remote the server 2, and it should be work because for the server 1 is already get connected from the router using the same network and using the router. And I will try using it again. SSH and the name of the user, I think here, then add, and the IP of the server 2, which is 3, and yes, and then the password is this one. And right now I've successfully remote the server to Ubuntu. Sorry guys, SamCTL, you can see it in here. And for PuTTY, it have more good things because as you can see in here, you can block in here, not like on the CLI version, the normal CLI version that you cannot see your cursor. But in the PuTTY, you can see your cursor and also you can block something. So PuTTY is more good. And if I already success to remote the server 1 and server 2 from the PuTTY, I will try on the Ubuntu client. Here I will open the terminal, and in here I will try to remote the server 1 first using SSH, and then the user on the server 1, which is gr, then add, and then the IP of the server 1, which is this one, and enter. In here it is yes, and the password is this, and enter, and it should be work. And if you want to ask why can I remote the server 1 Ubuntu from the Ubuntu client, it is because my Ubuntu client is already can ping to the server 1 or server 2. So from the router Ubuntu, from the Ubuntu client can ping to each other, and so that means you have to set the routing on the router Ubuntu. And I will try to remote the server to Ubuntu from also Ubuntu client, and also on the Ubuntu client you can see that I can remote to server at once, not like in PuTTY. So that is the more good things on the Ubuntu client side. And I will try to I want to try to remote the server 2, which is SSH, and then the user on the server 2, and then add 10.10.10.3 and enter. It is yes, then the password is this. And if you a little bit confused, because in here you don't need when I remote the server, I'm using this one, sshgr at 10.10.10.3. For this one, it is the user on the server 2, which is gr. And if you already know, all of my server have the same username, which is gr. And later I will the next video I will change the user so you will not get confused. But in here you can just focus on the name of the server. In here I will type hostname ctl, and as you can see it is server 2 Ubuntu, and for this one it is server 1 Ubuntu. So in this video I've been successfully remote the server 1 and server 2 Ubuntu from the router Ubuntu on PuTTY, and also I've successfully remote the server 1 Ubuntu and server 2 Ubuntu from the Ubuntu client. Sorry if there's too much the name of the Ubuntu. And the next one, it is changing SSH port. So the default of SSH port, it is port 22, and many people is already know of that port. So when you have a server, it's not that safe because the port, if it's still by default, which is 22. So if someone wants to hack your server, it will be more easier because the SSH port is still default. So you can change the port with anything you want. So how to change the SSH port? It is first I will open the server 1 Ubuntu and I will log in. And if you want to change the SSH port, you can use the command of sudo nano and then /etc, and then you can use sudo and then nano /etc ssh/sshd, then tab, and after that you can just fill the password, and in here there is port, and you can delete the hashtag sign, and you can add the port with anything you want. In here I will add 23, so the port of server 1 Ubuntu, it will be 2223. Then I will save it, then yes, then enter, and I need to restart, or I need to restart the port using the command of sudo systemctl restart SSH, then enter, and after that I will try to remote the server 1 Ubuntu from the Ubuntu client. Oh yeah, in here I already opened the Ubuntu client, the terminal, and I forget that I need to reboot my server 1 Ubuntu, because with only the command of sudo systemctl restart SSH, sometimes it is not get restart. So I will try to reboot my server 1 and I will just keep it. And now I've been restart my Ubuntu Ubuntu server 1, and in here I will try to remote this server. As you already know, when I try to remote the server 1 Ubuntu before, I'm using this command ssh, and then the user of the server 1, which is gr, and then add, and then the IP of server 1 Ubuntu, which is this one. And then if I try enter, it will shows connection refuse. This is a connect to host the IP port 22 connection refuse. It is because the port of the server 1 Ubuntu isn't default, which is it is not 22 because I've been changed before. So if you want to remote the server, you have to add minp and then the port that you've been set before, which is in here. I was set it into this port, and I will just enter it. And as you can see, it is asked for the password of GR user, and I will fill it. And as you can see, it is successful. You can see before, when I haven't added the minp after I change the port of the server 1 Ubuntu, it is shows like this. But after I add minp into the port that I've been set, as you can see, it is successful, and I can remote the server. And for the next one, it is allow user on the SSH. So for example, if you want to make some feature like another people wants to remote your server without changing anything, or for example, it is like login with another user that only have read permission. So in here I will just make a new user, but I will not set anything. Oh yeah, I forget. So for example, if you make a new user like user 1 and user 2, and you only want user 1 that can remote the server, but when someone tries to log in to the GR user, they cannot if they want to remote it. And the user that can be allowed on the remoting is only user 1. I will use that study case. In here I will open the server 1 Ubuntu, and then I will log in. I will explain it again later. And just I will open it again, sudo nano /etc/ssh/sshd-config, and the password is this. And in here, under the port, you can just enter it again, and you can type allow users. And then, oh yeah, I forget guys, I need to make a new user first. So in here I will add a new user using this command, which is sudo add user1, and for the password I will set it like this, and you cannot see it what is the password, and I will just use by default. And I will make another user with the name of user2. I will use sudo and then add user and a user 2, and enter. For the password is this one, and for the full name it is by default. And I've been successfully making a new user, which is the user 1 and also user 2. And in here I will open the file of sshd_config again. And in here under the port, you can type allow users again, allow users, and then the user that you want to make it can be remoted. And in here I will just use user 1. So that means when someone tries to remote my server, or I want to remote the server, which is server 1 Ubuntu, I only can log in into the user 1, which is the user that been allowed to get remoted. But when I try to remote the server using the GR user, I will cannot log in into it because the GR user is not yet allowed in this command. And I will just save it and then yes, and I will restart the settings using sudo system restart SSH. And in here I will try again to remote it from the Ubuntu client. Is it have been set or not? Okay, I will exit first. And in here, if I try to log in into GR user again, and if I try enter, oh, it is still can be login. So that means I need to reboot my, oh, never mind. As you can see in here, the allowed user on the server 1, it is only user 1, and the GR, it is not yet allowed. And when I try to remote the server 1 Ubuntu using GR user, as you can see, the permission is denied because the GR user is not allowed to be login to remote the server. And if I try to login or remote the server 1 Ubuntu using the user 1, it should be work because the user 1, it is allowed it is the user that's been allowed to remote the server, and as you can see, it is successful. So that is how to set the allow user on the SSH. And the next one, it is private and public key concept. So for the private and public key concept, there is two types of remote access server, which is using user and password, and also private and public key. For the first method, it is you need to fill the password, but for the for the private and public key, you don't need to fill the password again. So if you want to use this one, you have to make the private and public key on the client side, and then import or copy the public key into the server side. So on the server side, it is like a lock, and on the client side, it is like a key. So when you want to open the lock, you need a key to open it, which is the public key. You need to open the public key using the private key, and you don't need to fill the password again. So that is the concept of the private and public key. And I think for the authorized key concept, I will skip it first because I want to configure the private and public key from Ubuntu desktop first. So in here, I will open my Ubuntu client, and in here, I think I don't need to make it too big. And after this, I will try to ping to the Google first. As you can see, it is successful. So to use it, oh yeah, I forget. I have two goals in here, which is for the first one, it is making the private and public key on the client side, and later I will share the public key into the server, and I will try to test the remote via the host OS and using the public key. And in here, I will make the private and public key using SSH negative chain, and then after that we can just enter, and we can wait for it. Oh yeah, Oh, sorry guys. It is using SSH negative keygen and enter, and it will be generating public or private RSA key. So in here the file will be get stored on the /home/gr and then .ssh/id_rsa. So this is the location of the file. I will just enter it. For the passphrase, it is like a password, but make sure it is not like the password on the user. I will explain a little bit. So for the password on the user, it is for itself, which is for the user, but for the passphrase, it is for the public key if you want to access it. In here I will fill it with this one. We'll just enter it and then I will enter it again, and this is the public key, the key random R, which is the file. The name of the file is RSA, and I will clear it again, and I want to check the file. It is, where is it? I will try cd dot sl, yeah, don't forget ls min la, ls min la. There is .ssh, which is the file. It is in here, cd.ssh, and enter ls. There is id rsa, and also there is id_rsa.pub. So for the id_rsa.pub, it is the public key that I will share into the server later. So to upload it, it is we need to know the password of the IP of the server 1 and also server 2, and you have to make sure that both of the VM can ping to the internet using domain. I will try it first on the server 1 Ubuntu. In here using sudo nano and then /etc/resolveconf, and then the password is this one. We can give hashtag in here, and then we can type it again, name server, and then the domain server of the Google. The IP of the Google, which is that one. And I will also change it on the server 2. /resolveconf, and then in here I will change it into hashtag put web name server. The IP of the Google is this one, and Control X, console, Control X, and then Y, and then enter. And I will try to ping to the Google first, google.com, and as you can see it is successful. And on the server 2 I will try again, it is also successful. And to import this public key, which is id_rsa.pub, it is using SSH negative copy negative ID, and then the name of the user on the server 1 Ubuntu, which is gr, and then don't forget the IP. It is this one. The IP of the server 1, it is this, and then don't forget the port, which is minp it is this one, is the port of the server one, and I can just enter it, and it will be like this, attempting to log in with the new keys. And then for this one, it is the password of this user, which is GR user on the server one, is that one. And oh yeah, I forget that this user GR user doesn't have an access to get login. Sorry guys. So they config, and then I will give hashtag sign in here, so that means all user can be logged in. And I kind of forget this one. Now so in here I will change it, Ctrl X, Y, and I will try again, Ctrl C, and then okay, right now it has been successful. And as you can see in here, the the public key has been copied into the server one Ubuntu, which is this one. And if you want to check it, I think it is on the still the same as, oh yes, it is the authorized key. So I will explain the authorized keys a little bit before I continue it again. So before I've been copy the public key, so in there is using SSH copy ID and blah blah blah. So actually what the command is doing, it is copying the RSA_ID .pub to the server, and for the file that got import or got copy, it will be get saved on the .ssh, which is the authorized keys. So and if we check the using cat and then authorized key out, here is the authorized keys that have been imported before. And we also can check in here, wait, cat and then id rsa.pub. We can make it is the same. It is double A, 4A, and then B3N. And as you can see, it is also the same, 4A and then B3N. So the public key, it is the same, which is that means it is get copy. And I will practice again how to remote it. So when you want to remote the server, we still can log in using SSH. Sorry, I will cd again using SSH, and then the name of the user, GR, and then the IP, which is I will try to remote the server one first. Yeah, it is like this. It is the IP, and then don't forget the port is 223, and enter. We can log in, and it will shows the enter password to unlock the private key. It is the passphrase that we've been configured before. which is this is the passphrase, and it is different with whenever you've set before. And then in here I will just click unlock, and as you can see right now, I've been successfully remote the server 1 Ubuntu using the public key, and I don't need to fill the password of this user. Before the first method, it is when I wants to remote this server, I fill the password of this user. But last time when I you can see there is enter the password, it is not the password of this user, but it is the password or the passphrase of the public key. So it is different, yeah, which is the first one, it is the password of the user, but for the second one, it is the password of the public key. So if you are public key, if you already made it, it can be shared to any server, so you don't need to make another private and public key, a new public key, which is like this. I've been created the public key on this Ubuntu client, and I also can use that public key to get import it to server 1 and also server 2, and I will try to import that public key into the server 2, which is using I kind of forget, SSH copy ID, and then the user, it is gr, and then add the IP of the server 2, it is this one, and don't forget the port, which is this one, and enter. And for the password, it is this one. Oh yeah, and as you can see right now, it has been successfully get added. And if I try to remote the server 2, it is using SSH, and then the user, which is gr, and the password is the password IP is this one, and don't forget the port. And as you can see in here, I've successfully remote the server 2 using the private and public key. And as you can see that the public key can be import more than just one server. So if you already made one private and public key on one client side, you don't need to make another public and private key on that client side. So that is the study case 1, which is so that is the study case of configuration private and public key from Ubuntu desktop. And the next one, it is configuration private and public key from the host OS. So later I will make the public and private key on the host OS, and later I will import it into the router Ubuntu. So to make it, so we have a putty that we can use, and the putty is using the different version, which is using the RSA or using the PuttyGen. So if you use PuttyGen, I will close it first. If you want to download the PuttyGen, you can open the Chrome. Sorry guys, my laptop kinda lagging. It is, you can type to find Putty, and then in here download Putty, and the more putih, and you can scroll into down. And as you can see, there is puttygen.exe, RSA and DSA key generation utility. So it is used when you want to create private and public key on the host OS. So in here, I will open my puttygen, and as you can see, there is two types, which is puttygen.exe and also putty the normal one. We open the puttygen, and in here, to generate the public and private key, in here I will choose the RSA, and then after that I will just generate it. We can wait for it, and in here we can make it more faster by sliding our mouse. And in here there is the key fingerprint, which is this one, and key command. For the key passphrase, I will change it into the this one. I will make it secret, and then I will save the generate key. I will save the save public key. I will save it on the desktop TKJ, and then in here captures. Okay, never mind. I think I will open the TKJ file, and then I will make a new folder, which is remote server TKJ, and then make a new folder, and in here I will make the public pub and also the brief, so I can see the difference with where is the brief path key and also the public key. I will open the puttygen again. Puttygen, where is it? In here I will save it into TKJ, and then this one is private key, and then save. Oh yeah, forget to fill the name. For the name it is, wait, I will cancel it first. Save public key. Okay, public key, sorry. I will go to desktop TKJ pub brief key. This one is pub. I will save it pub, then save. And for the private key, I will save it in the brief, and then I will check the file, is it in there or not. And as you can see right now, it has been get saved in here. Okay, I will move it in here so you can see it. Okay, I've moved it in here, and right now I've been successfully make the private and public key on the host OS. And the next one, I need to paste and or copy the public key into the router Ubuntu. So in here I will open my router Ubuntu, but before I convert it, I need to make the new folder, which is I kind of forget. Wait guys. Okay, in here I will import the file of public key on my host OS into the router Ubuntu. In here I will use putty because it's more easier. Okay, it is inactive, and I will close it first again and will open it again. Putty. I will close the puttygen keygen, and then close it. And in here for the host name, I will the IP is this one, the IP of the router one, the router Ubuntu. And for the port, don't forget guys, it is 2223 and open. Oh my bad, not focused. Then we can login ASCII and the password is this one, and I will make it bigger. And in here I will open the authorized key file to import the public key into this router Ubuntu. To import it, you can type cd.ssh to go to the ssh directory, and I will ls, and then nano out price key, and in here you can type ssh rsa just like that, and after that space, and you can open the public key file like on the notepad or whatever you want. I will open it with the notepad just once, and I can copy this public key using Ctrl+A, Ctrl+C, and then I will open the router Ubuntu again on the putty, and we can just use Ctrl+V, I think. Oh no, it is, you can use right click, and after that you can delete the command RSA key until the RSA until here. So we just need the public key, which is the AAA B3M and whatever is that, and also we can delete the NSS1 public key, and we can delete it, and also we need to delete the enter sign, which is we can delete. So we need to make this public key into one straight line, not 4 line. I will delete the enter until it shows only one singular straight line like this, and after that you can just Ctrl X and then Y to save the file, and after that we can restart the service of the SSH using systemctl and then restart SSH. Oh, sorry guys, right now I've been successfully import the public key from my host OS, and I think I can remote it later. First I will try to restart the SSH. I kind of forget how to restart it. Systemctl restart SSH and enter. The password is this one. Enter is already got restart, and after that we already paste the public key, and we can close again the putty. We close it, okay, and we can open it again. First I will close this notepad, and I will open putty again, and in here for the host name there is the IP of router Ubuntu, which is this one, and because we are using the private and public key, so we need to fill the private and public key, which is we need to go to in here connection, there is SSH, we can click add, and then we can see the out, then the credentials, and we can find the private key, which is we can just browse, and we can find the private key which is on the desktop. We can choose this one and then open, and then we can just open it, and I will login as GR, and for the passphrase is this one. And as you can see, I've successfully remote the router Ubuntu using the private and public key. And the next one, it is I will remote the router Ubuntu from the Ubuntu client. So the goal is my router Ubuntu can get remoted from the Ubuntu desktop. So we just need to copy the public key from the client into the router Ubuntu, which is using the command. Oh yeah, I need to log in again. I will just open the new command prompt using SSH copy ID, and then the user it is dr, and then add, and the IP that connects to the Ubuntu client, it is this one, 16.10.1, and then enter, yes, For the password is the password of GR, and as you can see right now I've been successfully import the public key into the router Ubuntu, and I will try to remote the router Ubuntu from the Ubuntu client using SSH, and then the user is GR, and then the IP is this one, and then just enter it, and as you can see right now I've been successfully remote the router Ubuntu from the Ubuntu client. And the next one, it is disable password out. Before, we already successfully can remote the server and the router, and also using public and private key. So we can use two methods, which is using the authentication of password and user, and also using private and public key. And in here I will try to disable the feature of authentication via user and password, so we can only remote the server using the public and private key. So we can remote the server 1 and server 2 from the Ubuntu only from the Ubuntu client. And how to disable the authentication? In here I will open the server 1 and server 2 first, which is in here. We can type sudo nano, and then /etc sshd config, and then the password is this one, and we can find the password authentication. Okay, I will just find the using password authentication. We can turn it into no, and also delete the hashtag sign and password just like that, and Ctrl X and then Y and enter, and I will restart it again using sudo system ctl, and then restart SSH. Oh no, it's like that. And right now I've been successfully disable the authentication, and I will also set it in the server 2, which is just like that before, which is sudo nano /etc/ssh/sshd, and then the password is this one, and we can find the password. Wait guys, Ctrl W, wait, I forget out. There is it. We can delete the hashtag sign and change it into, and in here it is still hashtag sign. Ctrl X, Y, and then enter, and we will restart it using sudo and then system ctl, and then restart SSH and enter, and I will try to remote the server 1 and 2 from user and password on from the router Ubuntu. Where is it? I will from the PuTTY I will try to remote the server 1, which is before is using SSH, and then gr add, and then the IP is this one, and then the port is this one. I'm trying to log in using the user and password, and then enter, and if I try in here, it should be now work. Oh, it's still working. That means I think the configuration is still I think, do I need to reboot the server 1 and server 2? Okay, I didn't know how to set the password and disable password authentication, but that is how to configure it. Maybe you can find how to find out that how to it make work, but I think because it's tonight and I'm kinda busy, I will just keep it for this one. And for the next one, it is the SSH agent and SSH add. So you already know, if you already log in into using the public key, you don't need to enter the passphrase again. But sometimes, if you already too long remote or you already restart the server, so sometimes we have to fill the passphrase again. So if we do not want to add the passphrase again, we can just use SSH agent and SSH add. And how to use it? It is, for example, I will open it on the Ubuntu client. I will log in first. How to use it? It is in here, Ubuntu client. We can just use SSH agent, and then we can save it on the /bin/bash and enter. And right now the agent has been created, and we can add the SSH just like that. And for the passphrase, it is this one. And right now, every time I will try to restart all. I forget that I need to get into the server first, log into the SAM server. I will make it in here. SSH agent /bin/bash, and then SSH add, enter. And if I try to restart the server, and then like this, if I try to ping again, for example, I will try to reboot the server one. I think I've already restart the server one. Server one. If I've already restarted, if I try to if I try to log in to the to the server one, it should be doesn't asking the passphrase again. DR and then add the IP, it is this one, and then forget the port. And as you can see, it doesn't need to ask the passphrase again. So that is the function of the SSH agent and also SSH add. So whenever you restart or your VM is got shut down, you don't need to enter the passphrase again when you want to remote it. So that is my presentation and practice. Sorry if there's any mistake or some misunderstanding, and sorry if my facecam is I'm only facing to the right side because my laptop has a LCD problem, and my laptop is connected to a TV, so I've looked at the TV, but for the facecam is from my laptop. And sorry guys if my speech doesn't that good, and see you next time guys. Bye bye.